Frisbee has been such a big part of my life that it is, in a sense, me now. And like, if I was gonna tell someone about myself, there's no way I could leave out Frisbee, I don't think, because it's just who I am.
I've been challenged to explain it myself to coworkers, to friends, to relatives who have never seen the game.
The best way I can describe it is that it has elements of several other games.
The way it's commonly described is that it's a cross between soccer and basketball and football.
The sport is so dynamic, there's so much variety, you know, there's place in it for everyone.
It's a sport that allows you to demonstrate a pretty full range of physical abilities. And in that, I think that makes it more fun, number one, but also allows you to have a little more pride in what you're doing.
Teams of 7 play against each other on a 70 by 40 yard field with 25-yard end zones. The object of the game is to score in your opponent's end zone by passing to your teammates. There's no running with the disc, and if the disc goes out of bounds or hits the ground, it's a turnover and the other team gains possession.
The hardest part about Ultimate is that every player has to play both sides. So you have to get into a rage if you're really going to play defense.
That's definitely why you see these people on the field get fired up and start yelling at each other, because it draws that type of person, someone who's willing, you know, to give it their all on the field.
When you're playing it, it feels tranquil, but at the same time, I get this incredible adrenaline rush off of it.
And then as soon as you get the D, it has to switch instantly. And you have to be calm and collected. You have to see the whole field, and you have to be serene. I started playing Ultimate Frisbee in middle school. My best friend, who's now my roommate, Buck, got me into it. Then I played it in high school for a team that was called the Squid Farmers.
I had never heard of the game of Ultimate until you kind of joined the Loveland High School team.
Your group was so dedicated in practicing, and it seemed like you were practicing a lot, although we weren't always sure that you were practicing. Maybe you were doing something else.
Crotch, bladder.
Oh! It's all the same.
See, now what is that? Come on, what is that?
What is that? Now what is that?
Eventually, we raised some money and we went to junior nationals, which was a huge event for us because I think we were the first team from Colorado that ever went to junior nationals.
I think he's ready. And here we are with the Squid. They're at the Nationals. It's been a high school dream. Oh yes, but there's some tension. They're a little worried. They've looked at the talent. It's awesome out there.
And we played some really good high school teams and got our asses kicked. And then later, I went to CU. Part of the reason I went to CU is because I heard they had a good Frisbee team.
I remember the fact that it was mentioned that CU has a Frisbee team and that they had a good one, and that was a little bit of a draw. Certainly not thinking it was the main draw for going to school there, but
Yeah.
It was pretty apparent that, you know, there was an underlying kind of motivation to go to CU. And when all was said and done, I don't think you even applied anywhere else to go to college.
I pretty much knew the whole time it was something I was going to do, and went out to practice and started to meet some of the guys on the team, and I made most of my friends playing Frisbee.
I recall that we were doing drills, which is what you do with new players. I mean, you gotta like just throw them out there and let them do what they can do. You know, they might not be able to throw, but anyone can run and anyone can jump. And if you've got hunger, it'll show in that drill. And I remember watching you run down on a lot of those throws, and you looked hungry.
I don't remember the story exactly, but I said to myself, Dan, that guy's fast. We got to give him a good fast nickname. We can't give him a slow-ass nickname like the Blob or the Human Slug or anything like that. You know, he's a fast dude. People need to recognize that. He needs to recognize that.
I don't think it's any coincidence that your nickname was Rabbit. I mean, you know, for a number of different reasons. You know, you're definitely quick, very athletic on the field, but at the same time, you know, if you imagine a rabbit running from a wolf or, you know, from a coyote or something like that, you definitely had that look about you as well at times.
Great style, backwards visor, tall socks. You got the laid back attitude I like.
You realize that when you're talking to somebody who's calling you Rabbit, that they know you well, and you're not hiding shit from them, and they've seen you sweat and bleed and puke your guts out and cry probably.
This is a team. We play together, we work together, we party together.
In order to get that gel, you know, whatever holds the team together, you got to hang out, you got to get to know one another.
Certain members of the team, we shared more things in common, but the Frisbee team is always such a tight-knit group of guys.
You start playing that often, it's pretty much all you know how to do. I mean, 4 practices a week, party with the same people, go to classes with the same people, live with the same people.
And then suddenly we find out that you've received $2,000, I believe it was, for being the top freshman recruit.
I was like amazed that there was a scholarship.
It just blew us away. I mean, we were ecstatic for a lot of reasons.
Well, I know we found out about the scholarship before we had actually seen you play. So we knew you were playing this game. We knew you loved it. You were enjoying it. We had no idea at what level you were playing.
You know what's amazing about this sport is that it apparently gets in your blood.
You completely lose track of everything else, and it just feels like you're flying. Time freezes for a minute when they're in the air. And that might be one of the things that's so addictive for me about this game.
In Frisbee, you can get the disc at any time. So you have to know what you're going to do with the disc, and you have to know what your teammates are going to do to get the disc. So it's flowing as a team.
It's just absolutely poetry in motion, especially when you see a team that's trained well together, and watching the disc move through the players and watching them just control the Frisbee is just like such a beautiful thing. We won nationals my sophomore year in 2004, and that whole year was pretty much dominating for us.
It's a big event. I had no idea. I mean, it's huge. What strikes me is that, you know, here you've got all of these teams from all over the country. I had no idea that Ultimate was represented at almost every single college and university across the country.
We were in the finals of every tournament we went to that year, and we won most of those finals.
To think that, you know, your son is on a team representing their college and battling it out with all of these other great colleges and universities from all over the country and actually competing at a very high level. It's pretty exciting stuff.
You work together for a cause, and you're from all different backgrounds, and you come together to fight for something. And then at the end of all that fighting, you get to be great all together at the same time, all for one day.